Welcome back to Yoga with Kayvon. In today's practice, we're going to be doing 10 poses to open up your shoulders and your hips. And a couple of things you might need for your practice today are a strap and one or two blocks. And we'll get started off seated onto your blocks, sitting nice and tall. And just take a few breaths to observe your body and feel how it is today. Feel the rhythm of your breath. And then bring your hands to prayer, interlace your palms together and stretch the arms up. And as you take the arms up, just begin to lift a little bit longer through the sides of your waist. Root down through your sitting bones, either into the floor or onto your block. Keep the collarbones wide, take another inhalation. And then exhale, take the arms wide, and take the right elbow on top of the left elbow. If you can't get right elbow on top of the left elbow, just grab hold of the opposite shoulders. And then interlace the palms, press them together firmly, spread the fingers, and slide your shoulder blades down your back. So in each of these postures, try to take about 5 breaths or so, keeping a nice and balanced breath. And if you notice that you need to modify by taking longer on one side or the other, as you practice yoga, you might notice one side gets much tighter than the other. Inhale, separate the arms apart. Exhale, take the left elbow on top of the right elbow. Again, press the palms together, elbows in line with the shoulder heads, and draw your shoulder blades back and down. Keep the belly drawn in, take another full cycle or two of breath here. The eyes soft, keep your jaw and face unclenched. And inhale, release the arms, take them wide. And then reach your arms back behind you. And you can either press your fists in towards one another, so that would look like pushing the fists together and rolling the chest open, or bring your hands to reverse prayer. And then from there, try to get the inner palms together a bit more firmly. Roll your shoulders down your back, and then release the right arm up. Spin the outer arm forward as you bend the elbow, bring the right hand between your shoulder blades. Now some of you might notice you can wiggle the left hand up a little bit higher and reach the hands together. Others, you might want to grab a hold of that strap, or if you're at home, you have a towel or a blanket, you can use that. And just breathe about, again, 5 breaths or so, keeping your collarbones nice and open. And imagine that both elbow tips are just gently drifting away from each other. Take one more big inhale. Then exhale, just release the top arm and take it back into reverse prayer, or if they press the fists together. And then take your left arm up, reach it high. Wrap the outer arm forward, bend the elbow. Again, option to interlace the palms if they get there. Doesn't really matter, just doing this work to create more awareness and space in our bodies. Try not to become too attached to the outcome as we practice. Another 2 breaths or so, spreading the elbow tips apart, rooting down through your foundation, nice and steady. And take another full cycle of breath. And then slowly release, left arm back to meet the right arm behind you. Take an inhale here, chest lifts up, shoulders back. And then release, plant your hands down, and come all the way down onto the floor, onto your belly. So you might want to block, or perhaps taking a blanket to the side of your head here. And you can take your left arm out to the side. My elbow is going to be bent, and the elbow tip is going to be slightly above the shoulder head. Keeping the left upper arm bone grounded, bring your right hand in line with your chest, and then slowly begin to roll onto the left outer hip. Try to keep the left palm sealed down into the floor, nice and balanced. Some of you might want to take this right leg back behind you, or you can bend the knees if it feels any pressure or pain in the low back. Take another 2 breaths or so, into this front of the left shoulder, and the left shoulder blade is moving down so the shoulder travels away from the ear. Take another full breath here. And slowly release, rolling back to center. And then second side. You may need to walk your right forearm away from you as you roll onto your right outer hip. And as you place the foot back behind you, continue to let the left shoulder roll open and away from the floor. Find a steadiness to your breathing here, so it's a balanced breath of equal parts inhale and exhale. Last full cycle, lean the head back just a little bit. And then slowly release, come all the way back down. Now, you're going to take your right arm underneath your left, and take your left arm on top of your right. And then tuck your toes, shift yourself a bit forward, and let your head and neck drop so that the space between your shoulder blades begins to expand as you allow your body to soften into the effects of gravity. Roll out, you'll take the opposite arm in front this time, so crisscross the second side. Again, you tuck the toes, shift your way a little bit forward, and then the bicep likes to create a nice space for the chin just to drop, and you can feel the space in the back of your heart opening up. Try to breathe into that space behind your heart. Take another full cycle of breath. And exhale, release. And plant your palms down and press back into all fours. And coming to a seat. So you'll take your right shin in front of your left shin. And with that, keep your feet nice and flexed, nice and active. Take an inhale, root your seat down. And exhale, fold forward. Just about 5 breaths again, nice and easy. Just knocking some of the rust from the day off. Whatever brought you to this practice, just see if you can use your intention to breathe more space into those parts of your body. And tuning your awareness to sensations changing and how they evolve throughout your practice. Inhale, come on up. And then just lean back and switch. You'll take the left shin in front of the right shin. Sit up nice and tall. And as you fold forward, try to fold at your hip creases. So you're hinging forward at your hips, not just rounding through the spine, maintaining a sense of length and openness through the chest and the shoulders that we just worked on. And finding the balanced quality to your breath. As you let the eyes soften, feeling a little more deeply with each breath. And then come on up nice and slowly. And then bring the soles of the feet together for bound ankle pose or Baddha Konasana. You might want to sit up onto the edge of a blanket or a block. And I can show you what that looks like here. You want to sit towards the edge of whatever it is you're sitting on. So your sitting bones will be right at the edge of either a blanket, or you can even use a block here. Press the feet together so the knees widen. Lift up and then fold forward again, just about 5 breaths or so, enough so that we can start to really feel things shifting or moving around through the body. Find the steadiness of the breath and see if you can bring all of your attention to the breath and how it interacts with sensations. You can even use your elbows here to gently press the inner thighs a little further away, keeping the low belly, the pit of the abdomen, lifted. Nice and slowly begin to come on up. And as you cross your legs, you're going to come onto Prasarita Padottanasana, a nice wide-legged straddle here. Be sure that the outer edges of your feet are lined up with the outer edges of your mat. Plant your palms down either onto the blocks if you need them for a little more lift, or if you don't need the blocks, hands can come to the floor nice and easy. Take an inhale, extend your spine a little bit longer as the thigh bones press back. And slowly bend your right knee as you push your left heel away from you and drawing your hips back. So nice and slowly now, targeting the inner thighs, we're going to go back and forth. Inhale to the center. Keep your toes nice and light. Exhale, bend the left knee, push the right heel away, awakening the right inseam of the thigh and the left hip. A couple more times, back and forth. Try to keep both sides of the waist equally long here. So as you bend into the left knee, don't lean over towards the left. Keep your torso nice and long. And one more time each side, nice and easy. Try to create some sense of resistance, like they're moving through some thick liquid like mud or silly putty or something. And then come back to the center. You're going to turn towards the front of your mat. You can bring your blocks with you or not. And then tuck your back toes, bring your hands to your front thigh, lift your torso up. And as you lift up, bring your right hand to your hip and roll your right outer hip forward and lift the front of the hip up. Keep drawing up through the belly, and you can slowly begin to lower a little bit further down, so you might feel the sensation in the front of the right hip starting to become more intense. Try to breathe into that sensation as it arises. And take one more breath here. Good, and then slowly you can bring your hands down and just switch. Take your right leg forward, left leg back. Try to keep the right knee more or less over the right ankle. Again, left hand to the hip, turn it forward, and then lift up through the bony parts in the front of your hips. Get taller through your spine and in your pelvis. And then just slowly lowering as you feel that tension, and breathe throughout each posture. Keep the eyes soft, tuning in your quality of attention to each pose as best you can without distractions. And one more inhale here. Then exhale, release your hands down. From your tabletop here, you can be on your palms or come up onto fingertips. I'm going to take my left knee behind my right knee and then just sit back into Gomukhasana. So if, again, this is really challenging for you, for your hips, you can sit up onto the edge of a block or a blanket if you want to roll that underneath you. Bring your hands to the arches of your feet. Keep the knees stacked on top of one another and just push down lightly as your chest and spine lifts up. And then exhale, fold forward again, about 5 breaths. Keeping a sense of smooth quality to each cycle of breath here. And see if you can allow your inhales to lengthen the front of your spine and your exhales to just soften your seat a little more heavily into the floor. One more breath. Maybe let the head and neck drop completely. And slowly come on up. And you'll lean back and switch. Take the left knee on top of the right knee. Keep the feet nice and flexed, hands to the arches of the feet. Push down to lift up. Keep both sitting bones as best you can equally grounded, and then begin to hinge and fold forward at your hip creases. And as you breathe, perhaps feeling this low back spreading apart with each inhale, and with each exhale, feeling your spine settle a little bit deeper towards the floor. And slowly come on up. Lastly, we'll come down onto your backs. Get your props out of the way. And then take your right knee on top of the left knee. Bring the elbows wide like cactus arms. And shift your hips over to the right as your knees drop to the left. Now you may want to block or something underneath this left knee, but try to keep the right shoulder blade rooted down as you turn and twist, scooping up through the low belly as you turn your gaze over to the right. Inhales make your spine a little bit longer. Exhales help you to rotate and turn all the way from the pit of the low belly. Bring the arms back out wide, unwind your legs, come back to the center. And just feel the sensation of a twist in your side body, rinsing out. And then we'll take the left knee on top of the right. Move your hips a little bit to the left and drop your knees over to the right. And again, let your left arm, left shoulder be nice and heavy. Keep your right hand, you can bring it onto that left knee. Scoop the low belly back. Lift the chest up and then turn from the back ribs. And just take 2 more steady breaths through the pose. And release the right arm, unwind the legs, come back to the middle. And just set yourself up for about 2 to 3 minutes, nice and easy, of just Shavasana, feeling the information that you've just acquired download into your body. Imagining that your body is just getting a little bit heavier and the energy of your body is spreading out, almost like warm oil in a cooking pan. Let go of any engagement in your body. And let go of any pressure around the mouth, the eyes, or the jaw. Just observe quietly, without moving, without any disturbance. Slowly begin to deepen your breath again, taking a little bit longer inhale and exhale. And as you can sense the body once again, start to move gently through the hands, the fingertips and toes. Roll out your ankles, your wrists. And stretch your body nice and long. Feel the space you've created in this short period of time. Bend your knees, bring your feet to the floor, and roll over to your right side using your bicep like a pillow. And using the left arm to help press you back up to a nice and comfortable seat. Bring your hands to prayer and take a slight moment of gratitude that you've created this space in your life to make time for this practice. And we bow forward to the light and divinity within one another. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for this practice, and please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any future ideas for classes or things that you want to incorporate or you want me to talk about, please feel free to mention that as well. Thank you.